Good afternoon folks, welcome to Walking with Watches. So 2025 has seen Timex release a whole new collection, a series of watches all with a space theme. Whether that would be their Peanut series Marlin or their Peanut series T80, all complete with rather fun and adorable spacesuits, all the way through to their Artemis series of watches, which come with a analog dial as well as a digital. The analog featuring the orange and the blue silicon straps, and the digital with a resin available in orange and white. And that's what we have today. We have the 36mm Artemis digital 36mm in resin. This I purchased off of Timex's own website. The orange had actually sold out, although conveniently enough I would have gone for the white anyway. This was priced at £65, and you can tell by its design layout immediately the watch that sprang to my mind when thinking of a comparison was of course Casio's own F91W. Long-term viewers to the channel, and let's face it, there aren't going to be that many of you out there, will know that I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with the F91W. But here we are to review this new Timex Artemis NASA edition and answer the question, is this finally the perfect, lightweight, plastic digital watch that I've been looking for to rekindle my love with this whole type of design?
More than half a century ago, Apollo first carried humanity to the moon. NASA's Artemis program is writing the next chapter. Named for the twin sister of Apollo, Artemis represents renewal, a mission to return, learn and stay. It's about building a lasting presence beyond Earth, preparing for journeys even further, to Mars, for example, or possibly even beyond.
Right, so the first of my two watches that I'm expecting today has arrived. So let's get this outer bag off, because it has my address on it, and see what's inside. Right, there you have it. So nice, simple cardboard box. You wouldn't expect much more than that. So inside the outer box we just have the Timex Group invoice, which is absolutely fine, and this is the box itself. Okay, let's have a look, shall we? Ooh, very simple packaging actually, because you open that up and straight away you can see the watch inside. Here we go. So super simple packing design, which is fair enough for the price you would pay. Should be like that presumably, but take the outer side off and there you have it. Wow, let's get a bit of a close, tighter shot for you. Okay, so this is sold by Timex as their Timex Main Street NASA Artemis Digital 36mm with a resin strap. Let's get this out and see what we're dealing with, shall we? Let's get the old Christopher Ward off and see properly. Right, so what drew me to this was a few fairly obvious things. Obviously there's the fact that it's something new and something exciting, and us watch people like new and exciting things. I've always been a little bit of a sort of a space freak. My family were very much obsessed with the moon landings when I was a child. And sort of born from that, I've always sort of had this sort of admiration for all things space. And then I just saw this and thought, you know, I fell out of love with my F91W, something I'd documented before. Let's have a bit more light, shall we? I'd fell out of love with my F91W, something that I had documented before, but I saw this, and at 36mm, the size just seemed so much more presence along that sort of similar design language. Now, as a veteran of the F91W, I can tell you immediately that in the hand, the feel of this resin strap is significantly better than the quality you get on the F91W, and so it should be. It's a few times the price, and you'll see on this end just how sort of flexible that rubber is in the hand. Branded the National Aeronautics Space Administration, obviously for NASA, and some NASA branding on the other side of the strap, and the Artemis logo of course, and on the pin buckle there is nothing, just plain brushed stainless steel. On the back of the case it says Timex, I can hardly read that, Timex 50 meters water resistance, nice and simple, link to the Timex website there, and there we go. So I said at the end of the unboxing I was going to take this thing out for a stroll, and I was tempted. What put me off actually was the fact that it's October in England, which means it's vile out there. But in the time I have spent with it, I have to admit some of the things that jump out of this watch as being absolutely on the money. The first thing, of course, is this strap. As mentioned in the unboxing, it feels different immediately in the hand, and you're paying a little bit extra to the F91W, which is what, sort of £10–20. This goes for several multiples of that price, and what are you actually getting for that premium? Well, to answer your question, the first thing is a significantly more comfortable strap. I had the F91W, like all of you do, I'm sure, and found it to be fine, lightweight, comfortable, easy to wear, but the strap itself has a sort of slightly distinct, plasticky sort of feel that you come to expect from Casios in that price range. No complaints, we love them, right? But there's no getting away from it. The Artemis definitely has a more comfortable strap. There's a first thing that you're getting to differentiate it from the F91W. In terms of features, the Artemis brings you a lot of things that the F91W does too. A day, a date, an alarm, a chronograph, time functionality, similar layout, fine. One of the things that the Artemis does better than the F91W has to be the illumination on the light. Now, the F91W's light, we'll all remember, we all know it, it's very safe, it's very familiar feeling. Small little light in the bottom corner of the dial just gives you enough illumination to get on with your day. The Artemis, however, gives you a full-on loom. Look at that. So you are getting a slightly better light. The third thing that you're getting from the Artemis that the F91W doesn't give you is a nice 36mm case. It does sit slightly larger across the wrist, and it gives it a little bit more presence. But here's the question then, isn't it? Is the Artemis worth, let's say, 3 times the price when you compare it to an F91W? Well, I can't really answer that question for you. A slightly larger case, a more comfortable bracelet, and a better light. For me, neither of these watches are expensive. It's not like we're talking about 3 times the price when the watch costs £10,000. The difference between 10,000 and 30,000 is obviously enormous. The difference between 15, 20 quid and 60 quid is really not as great as, you know, the other example. So for me, I think it depends. Do you love and adore the Casio? Are you completely in Casio camp? In which case nothing is going to change your mind. And if that's the case, then, well, quite possibly there's nothing the Artemis can do to convince you. If, however, you don't sit so deep in that camp, well, then the Artemis might be worth something that you can go out and try. The strap is more comfy, it tells the time just as good, it's got all the same functionality, the light is a bit better, it sits across the wrist a bit better. As a new watch, you will have a certain amount of exclusivity with it, and all things round, I consider this watch to be a small upgrade on the F91W, and for me, I think it's worth your time to go away and think about.